Don't get cocky, kid. All right, here is a question from FM Productions. How do you communicate if the project, excuse me, is not quite on the track to meet certain milestones, like complications in the team, external factors, or wrong resource estimations? Ouch.
All right, so we're getting into serious shit now.
Yeah. Stop messing around.
Wait, dude, leave it up there because I can't
Okay.
see. Because I am not remotely following chat right now. So
I got you.
In these situations, honesty is the best policy, and it is always much better to identify issues that are coming up as they come up versus waiting 2 months and then going, oh yeah, by the way. The example I've talked about in the past is this actually happened, to me. We had a project we were doing development for. The producer on the project, I was executive producing. The producer on the project was basically rubber stamping, milestones and not truthfully tracking whether or not they, were happening. And we sent like the final, it was either beta or gold master off to the publisher, and the publisher was like, we're not paying for this milestone because there's no multiplayer in there. And I'm like, what do you mean there's no multiplayer in there? And I looked at the producer and I'm like, why is there no multiplayer in this game when it was supposed to have multiplayer in it? And he's like, oh, well, the team that we're working with wasn't able to do that. And I'm like, and so when did you find out about this? And when did you inform the publisher about this? And it was basically a clusterfuck. And it's one of those situations where these things come up. It's not like every project is ever perfectly on time and perfectly on budget. And I absolutely laugh every time, I hear that. It's like, yeah, we're going to make all of our games are on time and on budget. Bullshit. That doesn't happen unless you're making a web game that has like no complexity whatsoever at it. All projects have, bumps in the road. The important thing is to let people know when it is happening and, just be upfront and talk through it, because there's a good chance that, the publisher has a way to help you get through it anyway. It's in everybody's best interest that the game, gets out on time. The number one thing that a publisher wants to know when they are signing a game isn't necessarily how many copies it's going to sell or how many levels it's going to have in it or whatever. The number one thing they want to know is this game actually going to ship? Because if it's not going to ship, none of the rest of that stuff's going to happen. So you always want to be, as clear and upfront about it as possible, explain the situation and work with your publisher to get through it. It's not the end of the world. I promise you. Every project has it.
Right, because that's part of the thing is they're there to help you. And if there's some things, they probably know some people that can help you.